Good evening, everyone. I am Lisa Eisenberg, the upper school principal. Welcome all to the graduation of the class of 2022. I want to take a minute to ask you to please silence your phones. You may take pictures, but just please be sure to turn your phones on silent. And also, I want to turn your attention to the last page of the program, which has the speaking order of graduates. It has been an absolute pleasure being the principal of this incredible senior class. Each graduate is impressive in their accomplishments in the school and in their contributions to the community. Each student has sterling needles, something that will serve them so well in their future relationships, careers, family, and community. I want to thank you, parents, students, and faculty, for allowing me to serve you as principal. It has been a privilege for me, and I know that you will be in such good hands under the new leadership of Debbie Gratian. With that, I want to welcome the people who helped produce these fine graduates that we have here today, our esteemed faculty. On the piano. And now I want to wish a warm welcome to the class of 2022. Please rise for the Star Spangled Banner and Hazard Club. I would like to call upon Gabrielle Newman and Rebecca Flynn to start us off with Helen.
Song of Ascendance is open. Behold how good and how pleasant it is of brothers also to dwell together. As the good oil on the head runs down upon the beard of Aaron, which runs down on the mouth of his garments. As the dew of Hermon, which runs down on the mountains of Zion, the day of the Lord command the blessings, life forever.
Sadly, the United States experienced a devastating tragedy this week in Texas. As a nation, in moments like these, we turn to Hashem to allow for peace in the world. Please join me as we do responsive to Helen with the pink papers that we received.
I'd like to call up dedicated peacekeeping parents and President of the Board, Renan Lefkowitz.
Good evening. This is when it all comes together. The hard work and the tremendous efforts of our administrators and our teachers to empower our students, to give them the tools and the roadmap for a successful and meaningful life. The support and the strength of the broader community that rallies behind CTA and helps raise the funds to support and sustain Jewish Day School. The generosity of families who open up their homes to students from out of town so they can too receive the benefit of CTA Jewish education. And the sacrifice of the parents who keep their kids in Jewish Day School despite the financial pressures that creates. It all culminates here when we take pride in the final product of the CTA education and listen to them share their stories, tell us their goals, and as we celebrate together our shared value to make Jewish education our highest priority. To the parents of our graduates, and on behalf of the CTA board, I say thank you. Thank you for taking responsibility for the future of Jewish people and for empowering your children with the Jewish education all the way through 12th grade. I think that deserves an applause. And to our graduates, the world that you're heading into is tough. You all have an advantage. The one thing that companies, businesses, startups value more than anything these days is difference. Companies want people with unique perspectives and different experiences to work with. Because when a bunch of people with different points of view gather around the table and unify around a solution or unify behind a product, it testifies to the strength of that result. The education that you receive at CTA sets you apart from 99.9% of all other graduates. Companies are desperate for people like you. You view the world through a different lens. You view problems from a different perspective. In today's economy, that's an edge. So my message to you, my message to our graduates is this: your difference is your superpower. Lean into it. Keep plugging into Torah, keep learning, stay connected to your tradition and to your values, stay close with your teachers. And when it comes to career success, set the bar really, really high. You don't realize how valuable you are. You don't realize the impact that you're going to have. On behalf of the CTA board, I say mazel tov. We can't wait to see what comes next. Congratulations.
And now, without further ado, I present our graduates.
Janetta loomed over the mountain, commanding the respect of Yankee Stadium as he peered into the sky. He was in complete control, utterly dominant. The crowd seemed to hold their breath in anticipation as Abbott fired a fastball on the outer edge of the plate. Game over. The Yankees exploded from their dugout, swarming Abbott in celebration. Jim Abbott, the Yankees star pitcher, born without a right hand, had thrown a no-hitter. Standing at just 5'6", Spud Webb was the clear underdog when he opted to participate in the NBA dunk contest in front of his hometown Dallas. That night, the 16,573 fans in attendance watched as Webb seemingly floated through the air, defeating high flyers such as Jerome Kersey and Dominique Wilkins. By the end of the night, Spud was hoisting the trophy. Just a year later, Muggsy Bogues was drafted into the association. He was 5'3". In his line of work, height is pretty important, dare I say, necessary. Muggsy proceeded to play 14 seasons of professional basketball, nearly a decade longer than the average career. These athletes excel in their respective sports, each competing at the highest level for over a decade, despite having to overcome immense physical disadvantages. They say that when there's a will, there's a way. Each of these individuals embody the phrase, conquering their own unique physical disadvantages to become iconic athletes. They are symbols of what it means to pursue your passions despite the barriers. I myself stand at near 5'2". Though I may not be headed to the NBA, basketball has been one of my passions. One strong enough that I cannot prevent me from playing here for the last 7 years. When I broke my hand tracking a fly ball, just a week before CTA, I thought the injury spelled the end of my baseball career. Though I may not be Jim Abbott, with the help of my coaches and teammates, I was able to learn a new position that mitigated my limitations, to play in all of one inning of our 5 games in CTA this year. When there's a will, there's a way. Limitations don't always come in the form of physical barriers. Often what prevents us from pursuing our dreams is a lot less tangible than a broken hand or being born vertically challenged. Earlier this year, Mrs. Eisenberg dropped a line that I'll never forget. Busy people can always be busier. That may not sound so deep or profound at first glance, but when you think about it a little more, it hits at the core factor holding back so many people from achieving their dreams. Just as Abbott was plagued by disability and Muggsy and Webb by lack of size, people as a whole are plagued by what they perceive to be reality lacking. For some, after toiling over homework or exhausting themselves in household chores, there simply isn't enough time to chase dreams. Others may have the necessary time, but view themselves as lacking the talent needed to achieve their aspirations. Yet another group exists that is oozing with talent, but perhaps they don't have the confidence to recognize it. Or maybe if they just had some more resources at their disposal, they would be able to succeed. People as a whole tend to be apt at recognizing what stands in the way of their dreams, but it takes the rare individual to view the impediments as just that, a challenge that can be overcome instead of defeat at the end of that obstacle. Yet just as these impressive individuals overcame their struggles, you too, my fellow students, and you too, my fellow graduates, can overcome our own. In truth, what holds us back is not the challenges we face, but the mindset we have. No matter the person and no matter the dream, barriers will always stand in the way. But if we clarify our goal, sharpening our focus to a crystal clear dream that is always at the forefront of our minds, we can make those challenges seem smaller, more surmountable. The solution to the illusion that one is lacking, be it in talent or resources, physical attributes, or time, is to have the mindset that you will persist regardless. Because as Adam has laid over his decade-long journey through the majors, no obstacle is impossible to overcome. As long as each of us has the strength to dream a little, there will always be a means to fulfill it. You are not too slow. You are not too short. You have everything you need to be successful. It is never too late to start trying. Don't listen to the little voice in your head telling you that you can't. You can. If we create the will, we will find the way. I was going to skip the thank yous, not because you don't matter to me and I don't appreciate you, but because if I express my true gratitude towards everyone I'm thankful for in this crowd, we would be here all night. And I don't think that's fair. But I decided I couldn't get up here on the stage and speak about my high school experience without bringing up my parents. Ima, I want to thank you for always being a positive force and supportive in everything I choose to pursue in life. I have had every opportunity possible because of you. From the exercise outcomes I know you love to sponsor, to the trip we will be taking to Prince Edward Island. You have given me everything I could ask for, and then some. I go to sleep every night, incredibly grateful for the amazing life that you have worked tirelessly to provide for me. Allah, thank you for being a model of unconditional love. Whether it's letting me go to the club despite having homework in a messy room, or helping me figure out how to play baseball with a broken hand, you are always there for me, even if you don't think it's the best way it is. I hope to be happy with how it is that you are.
I remember it well. I woke up with my heart beating fast, jumped out of bed, and grabbed my neatly folded, awesome dinosaur shirt and my blue shorts, strategically chosen to make the best possible impression on my fellow kindergartners when I started this school. Not a clue in the world that this would be our team for the next 12 years. Fast forward 12 to 2nd grade, sitting in the classroom with a hand on the clock, slowly gliding over each small notch, and with each tick, I eagerly awaited the end of another day. By 6th grade, I longed to finish with lower school, time served. During junior year, I couldn't wait to be a senior with all the perks and forms. And sure enough, this year, after 8 planning preparation and countless essays, I longed to graduate, be sitting right here at this very moment. And now I'm here, graduating. This practice, watching the clock and sitting impatiently waiting for the final bell, was home to my lower, middle, and high school career. Sure enough, this past Friday at 2 p.m. on May 20th, 2022, my final bell sounded. Homework turned in, essay submitted, test completed. Like the other last days, I filed out of the classroom, into the car, and went home. However, today, I was overcome with a different feeling, as a realization sank in. The time we waste is forever gone. The illusion that our time is unlimited technically leads us into a recurrent in which satisfaction is hard to find. We are often unhappy in the moment, certainly not in those moments watching the clock tick down. As Yoda says, and I was spared with a terrible impression, all his life he has looked away, to the future, to the horizon, never his mind on where he was. We do not appreciate the moment like the gift it truly is. Once gone, there is no way to replenish it, no matter the money or technology. Consider the following paradox. We crave a rival, we desire to be delivered to the moment, only to arrive wanting more of what we left behind. Anticipation is our worst enemy. The fact is, our time on this earth is limited. We spend too much of it chasing the perfect moment, when in reality, we need to prioritize making each moment count. It is not the number of days we have in our life, it is the amount of life we have in our days. As all of you, my peers, family, and teachers, sit here and listen to my speech, I know freshmen, you are eager, sophomores, you are tired, and juniors, you are ready for senior year. I know each day is one day closer to walking across the stage. So don't rush it. If there's one thing that my years of enduring time's glacial pace has taught me, it's that time flies. As I prepare to leave home, I feel all the moments I had with my family quickly being left in the rearview mirror. As I leave for Israel next year, I will be leaving my home base, the place I grew up, and the people I grew up with. I would like to spend these last valuable moments of my time here to live in gratitude. I would like to thank my teachers, rabbis, and coaches for their unmatched dedication to my success. Thank you, Tati, for staying up late and helping me with my last-minute essays, and for all you've done for me. Thank you, Mommy, for your tireless dedication to my success. Thank you, Miriam, for all the work you've put into my well-being. Thank you to my siblings for giving me an amazing 18 years at home. And finally, thank you, CTA, for providing me with an amazing 13 years of education, full of learning, growth, and connection to Torah and all my studies.
Hello, teachers, families, and friends. Like many, I'm very happy to finally be here. But I do have to say, this moment is more bittersweet than I thought it would be. These last few weeks, wrapping up final assignments and projects, and packing up my things haven't felt like a normal goodbye. Everything felt like an ordinary day at CTA. Just as I would typically miss hours of school each day, the last week of school wasn't much different. Nevertheless, I didn't feel as sad and scared as some of my classmates did throughout the year leading up to the week today. I thought this feeling of complacency was so strong that I couldn't hold back when asked by Rabbi Drandolph and Mrs. Rizadi. I was called into Rabbi Drandolph's office after second semester and asked to speak for the scholarship dinner. Trying to make small talk, they asked whether I feel I'm ready to graduate. This is where I messed up. It all came flowing out, and every feeling of frustration, boredom, and angst rolled off my tongue unchecked. It was only after I had unloaded the burden that I realized my mistake. Too late, the damage was done. I immediately began trying to repair the situation by saying, I didn't mean it like that, and I don't mean the school itself, or it's not personal. I was mortified. They quickly comforted me by saying that it was normal and expected to feel this way, but I still never forgave myself. They said to me, just enjoy it while you can. You won't remember high school a couple years from now. I thought to myself, good, I'm ready for this to be over. May 20th, the last day of school. I found myself struggling to take down my senior buddy magnet from my locker and return my math and English textbook from my final year of high school. Finally, it was hitting me. All of the jokes, all of the tears, all of the teachers, all of the friends, here for the very last time. I walked through the hallway thinking of all the memories we made over the past 6 years of our school. My mother's words echoed in my ear whenever I was complaining about homework and tests. Don't wish your time away. It's a lesson that took me a long time to learn. It may feel as though you are done. It may feel as though you are ready to move on and don't have anything left to give. Trust me, I've been there, as many teachers and classmates would know. You only get this moment right now. Nothing else is promised. I thank my mom and dad for teaching me this life lesson and making all of this possible. Reflecting on my mother's advice, a few people came to mind. People who cannot be here today. Sarah Levy, who will be graduating here with us, and her brother Yishai, who would have graduated last year, were tragically lost in 2014 during the summer going into 5th grade. Their losses impacted our class in many ways that we don't even realize. Secondly, I would like to recognize and honor Dr. Carol Park. I've had the privilege to be her student since I was in 7th grade. Dr. Park taught me to push myself further than I could ever imagine, and my classmates and teachers can attest to that. I know we all wish she could be here today, celebrating with us her first class at CTA. The passing of Dr. Park, Sarah, and Ishai underscores the importance of appreciating things while they're here. Appreciating what's in front of us here and now. Because it's really all we have, and there's no assurance that what we have today will remain. As it says in Career Outlook, who is happy? One who is happy with what he or she has. As I embark on this new expedition, I hope to take this lesson with me wherever I go. Thank you.
So there's a man walking down a dusty dirt road towards Jerusalem. As he's walking, he approaches a fork in the road. You'd expect an old wise man to be sitting on a corner waiting to distill some cryptic wisdom. But no, it's a young boy, tossing a pomegranate up and down the air. My boy, said the old man, which is the way to Jerusalem, the holy city? The boy says, both paths go to Jerusalem. Just that way is the short long road, and that way is the long short road. The man's confused, but decides to take the short long road. In moments, he reaches the walls of Jerusalem. The problem is it's just a wall. There's no gate, and on either side of the road, there's thorny bushes so he can't go around. His only option is to turn around and retrace his steps. He heads back to the fork and then continues down the long and short road. This time, he walks for hours and finally reaches the charge stand with the Damascus gate to Jerusalem. What appears to be a short way out isn't always a short way out. I know I've tried taking the short, long road many times. I've had deadlines for assignments that I have to get done. That'll take time and effort, but when I'm finished, I'll feel accomplished and satisfied. Instead, I take a quick and easy path from the short, long road to satisfaction from the instant gratification of TikTok or YouTube. Or say, I do the homework, I don't push it up. In this miracle era of information, instead of actually learning and by doing the homework and finding the answers organically, I again take the easy way out and go on Spark Notes or Quizlet or Photomath and discover the answer. That might help me accomplish the homework, but when I get to the test, I'm kaput. The easy way out is an illusion. There only ever is in the long run. If we try to take the easy path and jump to the end, at some point we're going to have to retrace our steps and take the other road anyways. Let's face it, the obstacles and challenges are inevitable, and maybe they're even the most important part. Without challenges or discomfort, there is no growth. Taking the simpler path and avoiding the challenge doesn't work because it avoids the most important part, gaining experience, and skips to the end. Success is not about the task at hand, it's about the journey. Now that I leave high school, I have many different paths I can take. But the way I see it, I only have two options. The short long road and the long short road. I'm going to take my time. I could rush impatiently into life. I take this, or I can take the slower route, full of challenges and hard work. I'm going to take that route. I'll stop to sniff the roses, to get pricked by the thorns perhaps, and grow calluses from their wounds. I don't worry that it's going to take me longer to get on with my life, because I know that what's important isn't the speed it takes to reach the end, it's the lessons and relationships I pick up along the way. I want to thank a couple of people who I've picked up so far along my journey. Thank you to my friends. It would have been so much harder going through school alone without people to support me and have fun. Also, thank you, Vina and Lydia, my first and second favorite sisters. I just started a massive war in the new house, and it's up to you guys to find out what's doing. Thank you to my teachers, Vivian and staff at CTA. Thank you for educating me and teaching me how to think, and for disciplining me and teaching me how to act. And of course, thank you, Mommy and Abba, for raising me, supporting me, and loving me unconditionally. Love you so much. And lastly, thank you, Chef, for everything.
Sitting in the backseat of the Volkswagen as we drive through the streets of Bexley, listening to Steely Dan, Janis Joplin, and James Taylor, begging my dad to stop interrupting the music to slip in my name into the verses, then begging for one more song as we pull up to the entrance of the JCC preschool. Or when my mom and dad would join together and tuck me into bed with the sweet, sweet words of I Love That Feels. Or sitting with my friends eating frozen yogurt and belting out to Lewis Capaldi, knowing we all sound like dying birds. All of my memories have a song. Halfway through second grade, we purchased our neighbor's 1996 Volvo 855. It had seats in the top, making me and my sister the coolest kids in our family. One morning, as we were rolling down the driveway, my dad said she'd be getting home by the wheels. As we sat in the trunk and watched the cars chase us down Broad Street, I held on to the sound of Paul's voice harmonizing with John's. Now, 10 years later, every time I pass rolling abroad, I can faintly hear my heart's opening of the song and the wailing of the violin during the chorus. I can point to these songs associations for my day-to-day life. When I was in the CTA parking lot, I hear my Nana and Papa singing "We're Here Because We're Here." When I lay down in bed, I hear a strange melody of "My Girl" by Mamas and Papas, "Sweet Pea" by Tommy Rowe, and "Ain't No Sunshine" by Bill Withers. I can even pinpoint a memory for a song while brushing my teeth. But the soundtrack to my life is not like a musical, or like a playlist. Somehow, with all the music circulating in my life, I've never learned how to play an instrument. Don't get me wrong, I've tried. I got my first guitar on my 8th birthday, but I didn't start lessons until 8th grade. Granted, my career stalled after 10 weeks, so one of her very choppy, hardly recognizable intro to I Love Rock and Roll by Joe Jett, I got you. Jokes and memories aside, music does help me with my life. When I studied, I took an album or playlist and hit shuffle until the ins and outs of the bar actually count goes to whatever sound I located for me to say. I memorized the When America Returns game to and from my aunt and uncle's house by listening to One Republic of Flawless and Brian, Old and Bold, Sold and Told. If I were to sum up my CTA experience, I would say it was like a brand new double album. You slice open the scale to behold the amazing album art. Pull out the shiny black disc of Musical Wonders and set the needle down. You listen lightly to side A until it's time to flip the record. As side B starts playing, you're suddenly in middle school. As the needle creeps closer and closer to the inner ring, you dig to find the album just to find side C. Suddenly, a voice on the album says, "The first days are hardest. Don't you worry anymore." As the speaker nears the end of side C, there's a scratch. COVID. Just kind of exciting. The last 2 years of high school felt like a day in the life. Not easy. Nothing like waking up with that coming across your head. High school is more like the end of the album. When the conductor is counting the new instruments, the sound is getting more and more chaotic, and teachers are giving more assignments. You didn't know there was this next period, and you just had dress code and college applications are due tomorrow night. You work every night this week, and for some reason your gas tank is on empty, and your 3 projects due this week. But suddenly, everything stops. An E major rings through the chaos, and everything is going to be all right. Nothing left to do but smile, smile, smile. You know where you're going to college, you know a friend ready to offer you a shoulder. High school is a symphony. Little girls making TikToks in the bathroom, boys taking class to get the last few swings in before the bell, and debating meeting everyone at graders or staying at home with your parents. As someone who's officially finished the album that is Columbus Core Academy, all I can say is, what a long, strange trip it's been.
After watching 80 cars drive around the 2.5-mile track for 4 hours in the blazing 93-degree heat, my father and I ambled out on the sand searching for my mom's car, which was supposed to be somewhere on the side of the road. However, because of the massive cars leaving the stadium, only outbound traffic was allowed. Searching for places to get in the car, the highway presented was quite a screw. Walking along the edge of the freeway for that quarter mile, with the cars whizzing by in hot clouds of dust, felt almost as dangerous to me as I imagined driving with any cars to dogs, just not compassion on his fellow drivers. When we finally reached the yards, I collapsed in, exhausted and dehydrated. Many of you may not think of me as a risk taker. Don't worry, I don't think of one myself as one either. Among the risky things I've done these past 4 years is the aforementioned walk along the freeway and attending a late night Blue Jackets game before a huge BMR test for which I did not study. Still, I'm usually prepared for classes and tests. I'm not the kid who tries his hardest to derail the classes to avoid the work. However, I do like to laugh along the chaos unfolds. At the Boston tournament this year, I was put in a situation in which I was particularly uncomfortable. I was brought to relief with the bases loaded in the second inning. At that moment, the risk of it all seemed like nothing. Despite the fact that it was a high-risk, high-pressure moment, I didn't feel any pain. The faith I had in my hard work and hours of practice allowed me to step confidently up to the plate and let my skills shine through. It worked. I delivered. Throwing 6 innings of one-run baseball. That feeling of success and resulting self-confidence buoyed me through the remainder of the season. I harnessed that same weight during the latter stages of the season during the CTA. It showed. Because of CTA, I had the distinct privilege to be in an environment that allows me to grow without taking undue risks. Not all schools are places of safety and support, where students can leave their comfort zones and grow. CTA is. I've always felt supported, knowing that there are people here who know me, care me, and want me to succeed. For the past 4 years, I've been allowed to be both me and become myself. When the time comes to step up to the plate, either literally or metaphorically, I have the confidence to do so. I'd like to thank all my teachers who have helped me make it to this spot. I'm forever grateful for the knowledge and wisdom I've gained from building thought optimism in the landscape. I'm a dreamer. I'm so grateful for the amount of effort you put in to help me look at this next year. And the time you put into making the school what it is. I'd also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Fred, whose class was a breath of fresh air in my hectic high school schedule, and was also a great friend outside the classroom. I'd like to thank the community that opened its arms to the kid from Cincinnati. Thank you to the Phelps Gissers, URAC, and Steinbergs for hosting me countless times throughout high school. Charlotte would have been so different without your families. Thank you to the Dillon family for allowing me to be part of their family and opening their home to me. I'm so appreciative of the time and effort you put in to making me feel welcome in your home. Lastly, I would like to thank my parents for taking the ultimate risk, sending me to live in Columbus to attend school here. I love you. I'm so appreciative of the time and effort you. Though I didn't miss home, I know this is a risk that paid off well. After all, my younger sisters go here as well. Life awaits us. The celebrations, obstacles, accomplishments, and everything else that comes along with the ride. We can do nothing and remain safe. Or we can do anything and everything, and usually learn and gain to grow and succeed.
It is often said that throughout our high school career, our education comes not only from the classroom, but from extracurriculars as well. I think most of you would agree with that statement, but what does it really mean? When do we stop to digest these lessons? Who actually teaches them to us? How are they learned? When we take the time to reflect, we see that they are best learned through the unique environment of sports and self-analysis. Let me back up. I'm referring to the school soccer team. Every year, there's a huge struggle to get boys to commit to the team. Despite the coaches, I happen to enjoy soccer quite a bit. But not many people here share that interest. I mean, running around in 90-degree summer weather isn't very appealing. It may be the most popular sport in the world by a large margin, but not at CTA. This year, the responsibility to corral 11 able-bodied players fell on my shoulders. Put simply, if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to happen. Not that I didn't have some help, but I did most of the heavy lifting. I've never been much of an outspoken person, so this leadership role was somewhat new to me. My free time went to finding someone to play midfield or pinning down fullbacks to fill out the roster. At the time, it seemed like an impossible task. I wanted to finish high school soccer with a proper team. I worked tirelessly, and eventually I got it done. We had to pull up some eager middle schoolers to round out the squad. Our team is a team. We had one game scheduled with just enough players to fill it. I couldn't wait. But when it came to the day before the game, I realized another problem. Not every player had a kit, cleats, soccer socks, or an old CTA jersey. I took a quick poll of who had what, and when I went home, I told the coach, my dad, about our problem. We brainstormed, and eventually, we thought to reach out to a friend of ours who runs a soccer equipment charity and was able to lend us most of what we needed. When the day came, I got a shout out from the work I did. The coach said something along the lines of, I was ready to throw in the towel and just give up on soccer team this year. Saul was the one who pushed me to get it done. Those words resonated deeply with me. The game ended in a thrilling 5-5 draw. We left everything on that pitch and played as if our lives depended on it. We only managed to arrange the one game, but for that reason, one solitary game is all we needed to tell our story. Over my 13 years here at Columbus Pro Academy, I've learned countless lessons about perseverance, discipline, and skill building. Reflecting back on my experience, I learned the lesson of problem solving and working under pressure, which is the lesson of leadership. I didn't make sacrifices because I wanted to. I did it for the sake of the team. I didn't put in the hard work for recognition. I did it because it had to be done and no one else was willing. It takes leadership to put together a basketball team or to organize a soccer ground, but it's much easier when everyone already wants to participate. That's what leadership is. It's being the one to stand up despite how difficult it will be. Leadership is what makes the gears of the world turn. A community, a family, a classroom, only leadership can function. Teamwork is leadership, and leadership is teamwork. That is the true essence of what it means to lead. Doing what has to be done, not for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. Robert Randolph, I'd like to thank you, one of the most inspirational and courageous leaders in our community. I'd like to thank the rest of the CTA staff for providing me with an education and keeping the school in the shape that it is. Mom, Dad, I'd like to thank you for making the leap of faith and sending me to CTA. I couldn't have asked for a better education. Thank you.
I have something to confess. I, CC Mastrici, 18 years old, have never been on an airplane. True story, I've never been off the ground. Never had an aisle seat, nor a window seat. Those jokes about TSA checks, right over my head. Yet I claim I love to travel. You could say cars serve a similar purpose, allowing travel from one place to another, but the effect is widely different. You can't see the entirety of a body of water, observe the clogging and draining arteries of the freeway system, or travel through a cloud from inside a car. What do I know? I've never been on a plane. I have lived in Columbus, Ohio my whole life, and the furthest I've ever been from my home is Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, roughly 400 miles away, thanks to Mr. Scappolino. I am forced to concede that this single sojourn did not a traveler make. So when I say I love to travel, but I haven't done any real traveling, what am I saying? I believe I am saying I want to be someone who travels. I want to leave behind the familiar and move on to new horizons. Yet I feel this moment as kind of arrival and departure all the same. The halls of our school have been my stomping grounds for the past 9 years, and I think I can speak for my classmates when I say we have outgrown them. The enrollment in our objectively tiny school reached new heights this year, with a staggering 47 high schoolers and upwards of 200 students total, counting kindergarten through 12th grade. At the same time, we 10 graduates are undergoing a major departure. We are departing from Miss Cannonball to Steve-Ball subs, from Bailey's 1v1 badminton matches, and from Miss Fee's AOWs. And yet, even as I envision our next adventures and future trips, I realize that I am already traveling. Moving at sonic speed toward my eventual destination. I'm currently at the planning phase of my journey, but my itinerary is filling up quickly. I know my first stop I can picture clearly, Middle Seminary in Jerusalem, Israel, where I'll meet girls from around the U.S. looking to deepen their Jewish education and learn what it means to be independent. As I approach this leg of my journey, I can feel the thrill and imagine and feel similar to the excitement hearing my son announced on the loudspeaker. Feeling my bulging carry-on behind me as I board the plane. I can't wait to climb my seat, grab my bag of pretzels, and fall into conversation with the passengers seated around me. After Israel, my journey will take me into college, then my career, and on to the rest of my life. This leg of the journey is the longest, and here filled with new stamps on my passport and a sprawling camera roll. Despite my flightless life so far, I know to expect some turbulence, perhaps some canceled flights, and definitely some layovers longer than others. I expect to see faces and places that come and go, and some that remain are revisited over and over. I know that the preparation I do is important, packing the right things and checking in early. I know if I have resilience, respect, and no shortage of patience, the journey will be a beautiful one. Before this speech comes to an end, I would like to thank CTA for giving me a very strong foundation and helping me become more in touch with my Judaism. My mom said I have to say something about my sister Mia, so I guess here we go. Mia, I guess you're a cool. You're funny and genuine. Even though we relate to school basically every day, I would like to thank you for giving me much more time than it would have been on my own. I would like to thank my beautiful mom. Mom, you're the kindest person I know. You are my best friend, and I truly don't know what I would do without you. You support my crazy last-minute decisions, like going to Israel, which I know is easy for you. You sacrificed so much to make me happy, and I appreciate everything you do. I hope to be at least half the woman you are when I'm older. I love you so much. Dad, you are my hero and my best friend. You frequently make me want to strive for better. You always know how to put a smile on my face, even when I don't want one. You have taught me morals and lessons that I will hold on to for the rest of my life. You set my standards high, but for that, I thank you. I love you. I would also like to thank my classmates and friends for making CTA never have a boring day, and my teachers for supporting, encouraging, and believing in me. Without all of you, I know I would never reach my destination.
Throughout my life, I've been called irresponsible numerous times. From Aiden, you take the medicine, to put your passport in the lanyard around your neck so you don't lose it. To juggling knives is a bad idea. I've heard it all. We denounce irresponsibility, a fact I've been burdened for the last 18 years of my life. However, we fail to realize that beyond the criticism of the 7th grader who waits until the night before due date to start a project worth 25% of their grade, there is another responsibility which is equally important. This is far more rare. That is the responsibility we have for each other. One of the negative commandments in the Torah is lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Don't stand upon the blood of your fellow. For those of us who don't speak our soul, it's a sin to sit idly by while another is suffering. We have a moral duty to help everyone who needs it. Nevertheless, the phrase, "that sounds like a you problem," a phrase which the roots of our culture imply for the responsibility we have for each other, is frequently used. Suppose you're a teacher. I know, scary. You're a teacher, and one of your students is calling the other kids names. He seems to lash out for no reason. One day, the student hits the classmate. You send him to the principal's office, a wave of relief washing over you as you envision perfectly prim, eager students ready to learn the intricacies of gerund phrases and past participles. The principal reprimands the student and sends him home. The next day, the student dons the uniform of the bully. He fills the role everyone expects of him. He knows only the negative identity that was given to him. What would have happened if the teacher had shown the student empathy? It's a completely different story with a much happier ending. Believe it or not, I was that kid. As a young child, I had trouble controlling my anger. I lashed out, I hit people, and I said mean things. I was constantly getting in trouble. Every day, I had destroyed something new. I knew I had immense power in my words and in my actions, but I didn't understand their consequences. After a particularly bad fight, I got annoyed by that. I noticed that he was crying. This was the first time that he'd ever shown weakness in front of me. Instead of feeling triumphant, I felt terror. Immediately, all of my rage left. Why did I feel so bad? This was the first time I took responsibility for my actions. The love and support of my family and friends helped me realize that I didn't want to be disruptive. I didn't want to be the kid who threw a fit every time he didn't get his way. They showed me a better way to deal with my emotions. I am grateful for my family for always being there for me. Their never-ending support inspires me to do my best to help other kids as they're going through a rough time. I hang out with them and usually end up having a blast. Again, I would like to thank my family, friends, and teachers for teaching me that whether we like it or not, our actions have a profound impact on each other. That being said, I would like to thank 4 people and 2 cats who have had a profound impact on me this year. Stacy, Gary, Yaki, Yona, Chimichanga, and Teresa. Thank you for all that you have done for me this year. And I'm not going to do anything about it.
Parents, faculty, rebellion, alumni, friends, and little sisters. I'm happy to share with you the very last piece of writing I will have composed in my years at CTA. On this occasion, I've reflected on the hundreds, perhaps thousands of times over the years I've worked as a leader. I took notes on innovation and became makers read to my 4th grade class by Mrs. Stock, perused the passions of women who overcame gender stigmas and Stephen Gagnon's spirit of troopers, not to mention the thousands of chats among my classmates in which we collaborated on homework. Suffice it to say, I've had to divulge new meanings and lessons countless times, burdened by the need to come up with a distinct, creative piece of wisdom and theory. Among the lessons, I learned to never say never, to make every moment count, and to check the Quizlet before starting any homework assignment. But what I ultimately learned was not a distinct lesson at all. It was that knowledge is easy to find. Wisdom, on the other hand, only comes through great difficulty. When I moved here in the 3rd grade, I was thrust into the unfamiliar world of sparkly justice t-shirts, Hunger Games novels, and recess games of knockout. I learned the hard way which door led to the girls' bathroom. I beat the Archimedes man with the student council presidency election. I even ate a pickle on a stick for the first time. I felt on top of the world. In upper school, things were a little different. Friends moved, school mattered, voices changed. We shirked the hobbies that had connected us in favor of Snapchat streaks and lip gloss. I struggled to find my own path. In turn, I sought academic validation. Perhaps if I was the best at something, at algebra, biology, and English, the feeling of success would manifest internally. Perhaps I would need clarity. But the truth is that getting the highest mark on the test provided but a fleeting moment of happiness. I felt stuck. I remember watching the class of 2021 shake Rabbi Jandel's hand as he handed them their diplomas. I should be up there, I thought, my peers getting the rest of me. I would walk that road. I had enough of the high school experience. I was ready. A confession. At the beginning of 12th grade, I knocked on Mrs. Zelma's office doors, asking what I could do to graduate early. I was prepared to move on from the shadow of CTA, ready to take on the world, or at least what I could have been without a driver's license. I was only missing 2 credits. Sounds easy enough, right? But I soon met a force far greater than the hopes and dreams of a self-absorbed student-to-be. My mother said no. You'll regret it, she insisted, urging me to play it out. She said that looking for a way out of finishing school, like a boss, wouldn't solve my problems, and that I would always regret the missed opportunity of senior year. Either that, or to be as much as in school. Instead, I was forced to reckon with the situation before me. To make the best of my last year, with the transplanted private Jewish day school student I was. Like that 3rd grade self would have wanted, I joined the student council, I see her best friends with Tara, my little sister, and kindergarten buddy, and mentor. I played MC squad events. I slept in. I helped produce a music video for the scholarship winner. I had cupcakes thrown at my face. I discovered obscure ways to earn community service hours. I found that the ribbon of a function passed with Mrs. Jones and E.P. Calculus. I documented on film the Jewish World Series. I saw Miss Van Gunn kill a bird before my own eyes on my senior trip. I lost 17 different bets. I won the football league championship as a player on the green squad. I struggled. I mastered the art of swinging a framing camera at a Habitat for Humanity construction site. I learned by separation of variables and discovered a love of words. I persisted. And on one quiet night on the CTA hardcourt, with the help of my teammates, I sang 7 3-pointers, breaking the school record for boys and girls. But we must remember that last missing moment. There were times where I doubted I could go on, convinced that I would never step foot in 181 Go Big Street again. And as you can see, I did. Okay, I may take the 7:30 a.m. start as a new suggestion, but I did. Yet, as I reflect on this past year, the feeling I identify with most is not struggle or regret. It is gratitude. I know that my senior year provided room for self-growth, for lessons learned, for friendships forged. It granted me a chance to take back, to step back, to reflect, to recognize what I value most. Namely, those around me who nurtured me to ensure that I would thrive. Plus, I wouldn't have been able to announce to the class that I got the word over too. Looking around the room, seeing friends and teachers and faculty, I'm speechlessly grateful for the lessons embedded in me throughout my time at CTA. I would be remiss not to thank my mom, who was here for me at every step of the way. Through the highs of being Mr. Bailey at ping pong, to the lows of crying in my bedroom surrounded by 80 biology nuts. Thank you for everything. And sorry, I guess I did finish like a boss snack strong. And thanks, Abba, for knowing that the best remedy for tears is a Starbucks iced caramel latte with sweet cream cold foam. Thank you, Carol, my second mom, my refuge from my tragically Israeli parents. Thank you, Mr. Diamond, for instilling within me the most important tool, my means of communication, my ability to express myself through words. Thank you for teaching me that life is not always a 1-for-1 with sophistication and flawless commentary, and reminding me that that's okay. I have to take a moment to share my appreciation to Mrs. Eisner. I would not be exaggerating in saying that without your guidance, support, and second period Carusa/therapy session, I would not have discovered this year's treasures as well as survived the style blows and buffets. All of you, among many others, have played an integral role in the person that the CTA community has shaped me to be. I hope to pay it forward. I cannot distill my experience into one phrase, one quote that will encapsulate what it means to be a CTA graduate. I would be naive to think that any one of us would truly capture our time here in one sentence. Ultimately, the most important lessons I will take from my time at CTA are not the hope tells role, the Pythagorean theorem, or the rhetorical devices learned in the comfort of the classroom. Such knowledge is easy to come by. Instead, they are the lessons that are not self-evident, those I was forced to take away through the tribulations and the trivialities of the long haul. It is that our relationships with our loved ones are the most important things. It is that while we strive for love and acceptance from others, and from, let's be honest, the snazziest colleges, the challenge lies in discovering love and acceptance of ourselves. It is that we are capable of far more than we think. Those are the lessons that are shaping me to where I am, and that I will take with me through the next chapter of my life.
Okay, from the turns out our head of school is joining me on stage through the awarding of the diploma. Saul Plummer. Nathan 3. Keep Gitter. Yora Hadan. Rebecca Flynn. Naki Youthman. Christina Straight. Michael Newman. Ian Hamilton. Finally, Minna Shulman. For our induction to the Cum Laude Society, I will call on Mr. Steve Guidance.
President Lefkowitz, Rebecca Randolph, Principal Eisenberg, Larry. As president of the CTA chapter of the Cum Laude Society, I am proud tonight to induct the class of 2022 to the Columbus Store Academy chapter of the Cum Laude Society. It was at our school's 50th scholarship dinner 14 years ago that we announced CTA's acceptance into the distinguished list of 382 chapters worldwide. Founded in 1906 to recognize academic achievement in secondary schools, the Cum Laude Society seeks to promote learning and sound scholarship. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work as you pursue your education. It is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in this society as a responsibility to make a contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of humanity and society. The motto of the society is excellence, justice, and honor.
Excellence is referred to in the moral sense and is not limited to the ideal of superiority of scholarship, nor does it involve the endeavor of competing primarily for academic goals. Justice is meant to include the concept of what is suitable and appropriate. Honor includes the concept of dignity and truth. The CTA chapter of the Cum Laude Society boasts the following CTA alumni: Leah Epstein, Jacob Portman, Mimi Wilhelm, Tehila Wenger, Emily Sobel, Hannah Schramm, Aaron Portman, Tal Benatar, Sam Rosenstein, Josh Blau, Emily Chase, Noah Portman, Keenan Sobel, Aaron Polster, Ellen Chase, David Polster, Becky Portman, Ricky Shankar, Dasha Cooperberg, Julie Chase, Molly Cohen, Danny Lane, Mira Cassell, Addison Horwitz, Connie Wilson, Shivy Delman, Jane Shevkin, Talia Delman, and Akiva Epstein. If any of you are here tonight, please stand to be recognized. This year, we are proud to induct to the Columbus Sports Academy chapter of the Cum Laude Society, Yaki Liebesman and Mina Scholman. In testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society by the authority of the society duly granted, we now present you these certificates of and membership pins. We would invite you and your families to the Bema to receive your recognition.
Are we all together? Okay. Where is the flag? Yeah, let's be all together. All right. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that.
The designees from the class of 2023 will be announced at the award ceremony next Thursday at Hilltop. Good evening. The other night, I was at an event for Jewish Columbus, and I saw a long-time supporter of our academy. And I realized I felt like I could never see him at one of our graduations for 12th grade. So I asked him, have you ever been to one of our graduations? He said, no, I don't do graduations. I said, no, you really should come to see our graduation. It's a really special, unique experience. And he said, I've been to enough graduations in my life. They're painfully boring. There's no way I can come. And I told him, it's really, it's a unique experience. It's special. It's inspiring. He said, I know the drill. You hear the valedictorian, they bring in some special speaker. It's painful, not happy. And I have to tell you this evening, I knew this would happen. As I was listening to our graduates speak, I really felt bad for this individual for missing this. What they've done tonight, what they've shared, it really just captures the success of our academy. These graduates are incredible. They're ready to take on the world. And it really is a great tribute to our faculty and staff, to the parents for part, yes. To our parents for trusting us and partnering with us to educate your children. And I think what they shared this evening speaks for itself. I also want to just give special recognition to Mrs. Leva Eisenberg, who's done a phenomenal job. As we approach the holiday Shavuot and we celebrate receiving the Torah, I'd like to share a thought related to our Sinai, related to when the Jewish people received the Torah. When the Torah describes the Jewish people Kaiso approaching Har Sinai, the Pasuk says, "B'chodesh HaShlishi," which literally means the third month, as the Jewish people, third month removed from where they left Egypt. The Medrash says, though, don't read B'chodesh HaShlishi, read it Bo Chodesh. Read it the month, the third month has come. And in the Medrash, it makes a reference to the first time Moshe was able to communicate with Hashem at the burning bush. And it says that one day the Jewish people will come back to this mountain to serve Hashem. And Ratzaddik is going to ask, what is this emphasis of the start of the month of Siva? We know the Jewish people did not even receive the Torah for another 5-6 days. Why make this special emphasis on the first of the month? What's the significance of it? What is it telling us? And Ratzaddik tells us something absolutely amazing, absolutely critical to know. Ratzaddik says, when Moshe Rabbeinu first communicated with Hashem at the burning bush, Moshe asked Hashem, what would be that the Jewish people would merit to leave Egypt and to serve Hashem? What is it, this plus the merit, what do they have to do? And Hashem said, the prophet says, that they'll come to this mountain and they'll serve Hashem. But Ratzaddik points out, what was the serving? It was not receiving the Torah. It was actually the 5 weeks preceding the work, the preparation the Jewish people had put in to be ready to be chosen to receive the Torah. And this is a critical message because, as was referenced by our graduates, it's not always the end, but it's the journey. It's the process. It's the development. And I think this is so important when we talk about preparation, because preparation really speaks to our core values. Who are we? What do we really want in life? What do we want to accomplish? What are our aspirations? What are we determined to accomplish in life? And this is the message of what the Torah is telling us. It wasn't just receiving the Torah, but it was actually the process of working towards being able to receive the Torah. Now I want to share a couple stories related to this idea of when we see hard work, we accomplish amazing things. Michael Jordan, I believe, the greatest player of all time. And you have to understand, I'm from New York. I grew up in the Knicks fan in the 80s and 90s. So it's painful for me to admit it because his Chicago Bulls defeated the Knicks every single year. But what's known about Michael Jordan, in 10th grade, he did not make his school's varsity basketball team. And just to put this in perspective, 2 years later, he's recognized as an All-American McDonald's basketball player, being one of the best high school players in the United States. But in 10th grade, he did not make the varsity basketball team. And he was asked, what happened? You know, what was the transformation? How did he make it the next year? What was in his head? What was the determination? And what Michael Jordan talked about was, anytime he felt down, he felt he couldn't do it anymore, he imagined, apparently the way, the method of forming the players to make the team or not, if they post a list of the players that made the team in the locker room. And Michael Jordan said what he would do was, when he felt bad, he would stop and imagine that list. Imagine the feeling he would have if his name was not included on the team. And he used that motivation to work hard to literally 2 years later consider one of the best high school basketball players in the nation. And as we all know, moved on to greatness. But his coaches will tell you every summer, consistently, every night practice. There's another person, Tim Ferriss. Now, Tim Ferriss, graduates don't pay attention to this title of this book, but it's called The 4-Hour Workweek. After it was a very successful book, he sold over 1.3 million copies. But what's interesting about him is, he went to 25 publishers, all said, horrible idea, this book will never sell, we're not publishing it. And finally, the 26 publishers said, we're going to build it, we're going to do it. And they published it again, sold 1.3 million copies of the book worldwide. And the Harvard Business Review interviewed the publishers, so what did you see that the 25 other publishers did not? Why did you publish this book? So the publisher said, to be honest, we also thought it was a horrible idea. What a dumb idea. 4-day work week? Terrible concepts. However, they believed Ferriss did everything in his power to make sure the book sold. It wasn't the content of the book, it was him.
They saw that determination and they were right. Rabbi Mordechai Gifter, who's believed to be one of the first American-born Gedolim great rabbis in America. When he was in yeshiva, he had on his wall in his dorm room pictures of contemporary great rabbis of the time. And there's one spot empty and had a sign that said, "Why not you?" Every day he woke up to that sign, or every evening he was asleep, looking at all the great rabbis and reminded himself, why not you? You can also be great if you want to. Critical message, aspirations, goals, wanting to accomplish. I think it is clear tonight, as you heard our graduates share who they are. We all know them and love them. They're impeccable mido. They can accomplish anything they want to. We're all proud of them. And I asked them one question, why not you? Mazel tov.
Hallelujah. Halu Abu Hasham. Halu Rakia Usav. Halu Bikurosav. Halu Rabudlo. Halu B'Takash Shofar. Halu B'Neva B'Tinor. Halu B'Tok Machol. Halu B'Minim Be'ugav. Halu B'Tzotzle Shema. Halu B'Tzotzle Shema. Kol HaShemat Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise God in his holy place. Praise him in his firmament and his might. Praise him for his mighty deeds. Praise him his benefits and superb greatness. Praise him with silver glass. Praise him with psaltery and lyre. Praise him with timbrels and dance. Praise him with string instruments and flute. Praise him with resounding cymbals. Praise him with resonant cymbals. Let every soul praise God. Hallelujah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2022. Thank you for having a passionate, pretty, kind, and all over this room.